So what if I told you that everything you've ever heard about losing weight, that whole slow and steady wins the race thing, might actually be wrong? Today, we're going to break down a pretty controversial, but I have to say, super effective strategy for rapid fat loss. And it's all based on a really remarkable personal success story.
Right there, that's the core idea. It completely challenges decades of dieting advice. The thinking here is that for a lot of people, especially if you're just starting out, slow and steady doesn't win you the race. It just makes you quit long before you even see the finish line.
I mean, just look at this journey. You see 2 attempts using the slow, conventional method, and both times it resulted in giving up. But then, when the approach flipped to a fast, aggressive one, a staggering 65 kilograms gone in just 14 months. That contrast right there is exactly why we need to dig into this strategy.
So what's really wrong with the slow and steady method anyway? I mean, it sounds so sensible, right? Well, turns out the problem isn't physical, it's psychological.
This is the absolute heart of the issue. Just imagine this. You're a beginner, you are putting in a massive effort to change your habits, your diet, your exercise, but the number on the scale barely moves. It is so incredibly demotivating. You need that positive feedback, seeing and feeling the results to stay in the game. And without it, most people just burn out and quit.
Okay, so what's the alternative? Well, it's called the rapid fat loss strategy, and it's basically designed to tackle this motivation problem head-on by delivering visible results fast.
Now, the crucial point here is that this isn't about just senselessly starving yourself. Not at all. It's a calculated, aggressive approach with really clear boundaries. The goal is maximum speed, sure, but it comes with 2 non-negotiables. Your performance in the gym can't suffer, and your hunger has to stay manageable.
So here's the first key number. The strategy aims for a weekly weight loss of 1 to 1.2% of your total body weight. Let's make that real. For someone who weighs 100 kilograms, that's a target of 1 to 1.2 kilos every single week. Now that is a result you can definitely see and feel, which is so important for keeping that motivation sky high. So how do you actually hit that rate of loss? Well, this is the engine room of the whole strategy, a pretty significant daily calorie deficit of 30 to 35%. So let's say your body maintains its weight on 2,000 calories a day. With this approach, you'd be eating around 1,300 to 1,400 calories. And look, it's really important to say a deficit this big is a serious commitment. It's always a good idea to chat with a doctor or a professional before making a big change like this. It's aggressive, for sure, but it's calculated to hit that specific weekly target. Of course, a strategy this aggressive doesn't come for free. There are challenges. So let's be totally transparent and look at the side effects you can expect, and, more importantly, how you can manage them.
Okay, so the first side effect is actually a pretty good one. Your clothes are going to get loose, and they're going to get loose fast. But on a more serious note, you might experience some constipation. The source explains this is just because of metabolic adaptations slowing things down a bit, and it's temporary. And then, of course, there's hunger. Look, being in a calorie deficit means you're going to feel hungry sometimes. That's just an unavoidable part of the process, whether you go fast or slow.
So how do you deal with the mental fatigue and the hunger? This is where we bring in what might just be the most important tool in this entire strategy, the diet break. And this isn't just a suggestion, it is a non-negotiable part of the cycle. After 3 to 4 months of aggressive dieting, you take a full 2 to 3 week break where you eat at your maintenance calories. Don't think of it as quitting, think of it as a strategic reset. It's a pit stop. It gives your mind a break and gets your body ready to go again. All right, let's talk about the big fears, the ones that probably popped into your head the second I said fast weight loss. There is so much misinformation out there, so let's clear it all up right now based on the source material.
This is always the #1 concern, right? This idea that if you lose weight too quickly, you permanently wreck your metabolism and you're just doomed to get it all back and then some. And the answer from the source is a very clear, very direct no. The whole concept of a metabolism crash is basically described as a marketing gimmick. Now, your body does adapt to a lower calorie intake. That's called metabolic adaptation, and it's real, but these changes are temporary. As soon as you increase your calories back up to maintenance, your metabolism adapts right back up with you. It's not broken.
So then why do so many people regain the weight? Well, it's not because their metabolism is broken, it's because they go right back to the old habits that caused the weight gain in the first place. Successful maintenance just means taking the principles you learned while you were losing the weight and applying them for life. Okay, next big fear. This is a huge one, especially for anyone who lifts weights or cares about their fitness. Does a big calorie deficit mean all your hard-earned muscle and strength is just going to melt away?
And again, the answer is no, but with a big condition. If you only diet and don't have a good workout program, then yeah, you do risk losing muscle. But with a solid training plan that focuses on progressive overload, that just means constantly challenging your muscles, it is absolutely possible to not just keep, but actually gain strength and muscle, even in a significant deficit.
And finally, let's talk about the one concern that is often the most visible and, the most emotionally charged: loose skin.
A lot of people believe that if they lose weight slowly, their skin will have time to snap back, but if they lose it too quickly, they're going to be left with a lot more loose skin. So, is that true?
This is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. According to the source, the speed of your weight loss has absolutely no connection to your skin's elasticity. The outcome is pretty much predetermined by other factors. So, if loose skin is going to be an issue, it's going to happen whether you take 6 months or 2 years to lose the weight. The speed doesn't matter.
So what are the real causes then? Well, it comes down to things that damage the skin's elasticity before you even start dieting. Things like being obese for a very long time, especially since childhood, or reaching a very, very high body fat percentage. Those are the things that can stretch the skin beyond its ability to fully retract. The damage, unfortunately, is often done long before the diet ever starts.
So after busting all these myths, we kind of land on the real takeaway here. The debate shouldn't be slow versus fast. The real question is, what approach is psychologically better for you? What strategy is going to give you the positive feedback you need to stay consistent and actually see it through to the end? That is the real question to ask yourself.